Anyone can sell electronics. At Electronics Expo, they do more than sell products. They design, install, and support complete technology solutions. From home theaters and whole home audio to lighting, shades, automation, networking, security cameras, and premium entertainment systems. For over 22 years, they've helped thousands of homeowners experience technology at its very best. See the difference for yourself. Visit their Wayne or Paramus stores in New Jersey or shop now at electronicsexpo.com.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Wow. One hell of a conversation, huh? Very interesting. I found it fascinating. And I think it's great. And again, I just love it. It's inspiring. President Trump making up with enemies. Nobody does that. Your enemies for life. Oh my gosh, this person did something to me. This person said something about me. And they carry it around forever. Now, the thing about it is, your enemies, my enemies, their enemies, and I'm the enemy of some people. We're all created by God, and everything is in his hands, right? We have free will, and we go against God's wishes all the time, which is tragic, but also very human. These things happen for a reason, and anything and everything can be made for his glory, I do believe. So it's, Marco Rubio and President Trump were bitter enemies. Now, Ted Cruz, they were bitter enemies. And now look, and Michael Cohen. Now, I sense that it's, look, it sounds like it's good. It sounds like it's very, very good. And that's great. And who the hell am I? Now, I do think it's interesting also. It's just interesting to me. What happened to him, the prosecutorial abuse of him, the overreach, the this, the that, the other thing, all of it, I find absolutely fascinating and a little bit instructive about what the deep state is capable of and how far they were going to get Trump and people who were kind of swept up in that. I think Michael, in many ways, was collateral damage, right? And I also do think it's interesting to kind of go over, okay, well, what was it like on MSNBC? And, what about these comments and that kind of thing? And he told me, what the hell would I have come up with if I were sitting in solitary confinement in the cold? What would I have thought? What the hell would, geez, I don't know. I don't know. The other day I had a very nasty experience on an elevator. Kid comes on, probably 13 years old, and storms on the elevator, and then he holds the door open for his friend. And he's waiting, and he's using all kinds of vulgarity and all kinds of horrible words. And I could tell he was leaving the library where I was staying for a while, and we were going up. I said, we're going up. And he said, so press it. No, we're going. I already pressed the button. We're going up. He looked at me like he didn't understand anything, and he was angry at me. And then his friend gets on, who's a little bit, I'd say, more appropriate, but not by much. And these guys are, huffing and puffing and ride the elevator up. To be honest, even though they were young, I thought, are they armed or what the hell? I wouldn't have this kind of attitude unless I had a gun or a knife. And it crossed my mind that they may have been armed. Of course, when you feel that way, well, who knows if I was armed or not? Okay, I'll put that out there. And you can never show fear. You can never, ever, ever show fear in that kind of situation. And I can feel it sometimes. You can just turn your body off. You can actually tell it to be relaxed, like slump, like just kind of put it on droop. It's the opposite of a fighting stance. It's more effective than a fighting stance. I'm not kind of capturing all that happened in that elevator for these brief moments, but they were kind of threatening and hostile, and I was having none of it, but I wasn't giving it back to them. Like, I already pressed the button. We're going up, not down. And I was this close to starting to lecture these young men, but then I thought that is going a little bit too far. I'm not going to lecture them. All I want to do is for this interaction to be over with as soon as possible, and I'll go about my business. And I did. And then I thought, what a couple of lowlifes. Oh, how dare you, America today. Can you believe it? And then I thought, you know what? If I had been born in that young man's shoes and everything that had happened to him had happened to me, guess what? I would have been the guy on the elevator saying, press it. So I don't want to, I can judge conduct, but I don't feel as comfortable judging people, even if it's Graham Plattner. Let's see here. New calls for Plattner to bow out of the Maine Senate race. You might have thought about that when you found out about the Nazi tattoo. The Nazi tattoo was in the news months and months and months. I think it was like last year it came out about this guy. And that he was never really an oyster man. And that he's a rich kid. And then all these things that they were saying. Granted, probably a lot of them are not true. Michael Cohen made another point. And I know this, and I've talked about this before. When you are on the inside of a story, and you know that story, and this happens to everybody sooner or later in life, where you know a story, and somebody writes about the story or talks about the story, and the thing is, they get it all wrong. I mean, all wrong. Imagine if somebody wrote a piece about your family, right? About, I don't know. Carlos, what's your last name? Of all these, I don't know your last name. What is it?
Oh.
Did you say don't tell him? Why the hell not, Phil? All right. Oh, and you're not going to tell me your last name? I'll
come out. What do you need to know my last name for?
What is your last name?
Why do you need to know?
Oh, screw you. Let's pretend it's Smith, you son of a bitch.
My last name's not Smith.
I don't care anymore. Stop talking to me. Telling him to not give me the last name. Wow. What a 29 and young, and he lives in Brooklyn. What else would I expect? I got my balls on the line all the time. Greg Kelly. Oh, you should see the crap they say about social media. You should see it. It doesn't matter. What do you think? Someone's going to come and give you a hard time because you answer the phones? Is that what you're afraid of?
People are going to find me.
Oh, they're going to find you. And then what? And then what the hell you think is going to happen to you?
God knows.
God knows. Well, let me tell you something. You're imagining things, all right? People don't have the time. And I'm in a place where you can say the most vicious things about me on social media. It literally is like checking the weather. It's like checking the weather. And not only the weather, it's like checking the weather in Portugal. I mean, what's going on in Portugal? It doesn't affect me. Oh, it's raining in Portugal. Huh? It's hot in Portugal. Huh? It doesn't really matter. But if somebody came, this is why Rush Limbaugh called them the drive-by media and did a profile on your family. And they didn't even talk to your family. They talked to people you barely knew or didn't even know at all, right? And then they write this big piece about what it's like to be in your family. Imagine how mistake-ridden, how unrelated to reality that story would be. That's how the fake news operates all the time on literally everything. So there's that. So when Michael Cohen says, the story is wrong, that kind of thing, people don't know, he's got a point. He's got a solid point. What else did I want to say about this? I guess that's it. You can catch him at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He doesn't like talking about the stuff he said on cable news. All right. That's going to come up. I told him, look, this is going to come up. It's part of the story. If you want to talk about, if you say you want to talk about the future, but you're going to go into all these details about how the prosecutors were wrong and they harassed you, and they were, by the way, then you got to be open to talking about the other stuff, because I know that happened in the past as well. It's part of the story. And if you become too defensive about it, I think it's going to actually kind of make people more curious, potentially. But then again, things have a way of, everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. Unfortunately, except for New York City cops right now. I mean, we got a mayor who hates them. Did you see the whole thing about the body language when the detective was shot? Fortunately, the bulletproof vest kind of worked and saved the life of the officer, of the detective. But Mamdani looked like, what the hell am I doing in this hospital? I should be at a rally for young communists. I should be raising money for Ms. Chevalier. Hey, may I say I'm very upset, disappointed that Adriano Espaillat lost up there. I like him, even though he's on the left and all these other things. He's a decent man. He's not insane. He's not crazy. I don't really have any regard for Goldman, Congressman Goldman. Lost by 30 points. That's pretty wild. 30 points. He probably should have taken on the left a bit more aggressively. He was penalized for being Jewish, going to a coffee shop, and they harassed him because he's Jewish. I can't believe that still happens. And it's happening more and more and more. And it's happening because of guys like Mamdani and his old man, right? Mamdani and the rest of them. What this son of a bitch thinks about New York and what his old man said about America. It leads me to think that Idi Amin, well, I'll come back to Idi Amin. He doesn't come up very often. The doom and gloom speech from Mamdani the other day. Don't believe the smile. Don't believe the charm. This is an evil guy who wants to take away your property, your liberty, your freedom. Cut 14.
The truth, my friends, is that America is exceptional because here, nothing is fixed into place. The frontier may be closed. We may have walked on the moon. But the work of fulfilling the values first enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, that work endures, and it belongs to us all. It belongs to our newest Americans, those standing here with me today, all of whom were recently naturalized. Nearly a decade ago, I too felt what you feel, the joy of no longer being just a New Yorker, but an American too. You each hold a special power, the power to determine what America means.
Stop. If you just got here, what does America mean to you? These are like timeless. These are supposed to be timeless ideals. Timeless. The Constitution. This guy wants to rearrange the way of life. He has said it. He wants the government to seize private property. And he thinks he can do it with a smile and being that he's ethnic or something like that, right? Because there is an aversion, I don't know why, especially among white liberals and actually white people of privilege, shall we say. They'll be so critical, and they'll happily slap around any other white person with crazy ideas. But when they're coming from a black woman or an Indian Ugandan like him, Indian Ugandan American like him, been in this country less than 10 years, he's complaining about racism and the elites stifling freedom, stifling speech, and he got to become the mayor of the largest city in the country. The attitude and the ingratitude, I think I can call it ingratitude. It reminds me a little bit of Obama and that big smiley face he had. That's one of the reasons why he won. Oh, wow, he looks great. Great big smile. The smile concealed a hidden anti-American agenda, and he blew up this country along racial lines, and he did it on purpose because he was so conflicted about his own race. And beyond that, he read some crazy books in college, and he believed them. I watched the movie Stripes when I was in 6th grade, and I believed it. Bill Murray was fantastic in that movie. And who was his buddy? What was his buddy? And did you see the women they hooked up with in the general's house? Barnaky. This is one of the most moving speeches ever given in a movie, made in a movie. And it's by Bill Murray in Stripes. When we come back in its entirety, I shall return.
Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks are back at SIUH Community Park July 7th to the 12th for a 6-game series against the High Point Rockers. Wednesday, July 8th with first pitch at 6:30. It's Woo Wednesday in collaboration with the Wu-Tang Clan. The Ferry Hawks transform into the Shaolin Hawks. Thursday, July 9th, first pitch is at 6:30. It's Thirsty Thursday with $5 Bud and Bud Light drafts.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats. Greg Kelly on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, we are back. I'm going to take two phone calls real quick. Mike, you are in Wayne, New Jersey. Hello.
Greg, how are you? Listen, I don't trust this Cohen. Let me explain why. You should have heard him. He had a spot on TikTok, like his own page there, and the things he said was, I think President Trump's too much of a softie sometimes. I don't trust him. Once you're a mutt and a rat, you're a mutt and a rat.
Now, when did you see this video? When was it?
Well, no, it wasn't a video, Greg. He had his own, on TikTok.
Yeah, podcast, TikTok. Well, I know, but when was it? Whatever it was.
It was during, right after when Trump was convicted with the 34 counts.
No, I know. I asked him about it. There's a lot there, and I'm not going to, look, I told you how I feel. Check him out, though. He says there's a lot of misinformation about him, but I do remember some of that content, and, not happy about it, but you know how I feel. Thank you very much, Mike. Let's see here. Oh, Mary, you wanted to say something about him.
Yeah, how could such a dirtbag be on 770 WABC and you go ahead and you give him credibility?
Well, hold on a second, Mary. The President of the United States is in touch with this station. You know that, right? We talk to him all the time. The President of the United States wants Michael to be happy, okay? He wants Michael to have a show. He wants a lot of things for Michael. This is where things like this, they could be crazy, to you, to me. Sometimes when I first heard the news, I'm like, what? But you know what? If the President of the United States can forgive, I don't know. I think it's kind of amazing, and I think it's kind of inspiring. So, when you say how can, well, I just told you. All right. If the President of the United States called you, Mary, and said, you know what, Mary, I want you to do something. And you're like, what? No. Aren't you going to give him the benefit of the doubt? Aren't you going to think, hey, you know what? Maybe he knows a few things that I don't, that you don't. You know what I mean? Maybe not.
I would never say no to the president, but he's a
There you go. There you go, Mary. Think about it. And also, you got to think about this. And I do have to do this. I have to recall who told me the things that I believe I know. Who told you about Michael Cohen? The media and the government. The media and the government. A lot of media. Now, granted, we heard a lot from him too. But the media and the government are the two lyingest, if that's a word, entities in the universe. The media and the government. So I appreciate, Mary, you having a little bit, seeing things from our perspective. Very good. One more. Al, hello.
How you doing, Greg? Hey, Greg, two things. The thing about the building in Manhattan, about the structural thing. My son's a lieutenant, going to be a captain. The fighter fires that go in these buildings, these guys know when to get out of a building. They are more educated on how a building is built. So we got to give credit to the fire guys that are there overseeing the thing. And the other thing, I like the way you handled that last call about forgiving people. If the president can do it, then we at the lower end can do it too. It's about he's showing compassion.
Oops, Mike. Al, I'm sorry you were cut off, but I so appreciate your words. And thanks for telling us, reminding us about the fire department. One thing, though, don't say us lower people. There ain't nothing low about you or Americans.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, don't be surprised if we start bombing Iran again. Not like all out, not like, shock and awe, but a little bit of a tit for tat, right? Because they messed with a boat. I believe the boat was from, not sure what country it was. It's not Iran, not American, but they took shots. I think it might have been a Qatari boat. And we don't want them messing with Qatar, so we're going to probably strike back in kind. Now, a couple of things are happening here that folks don't know about. We, the United States Navy, are doing a great job escorting tankers in and out of the straits. It's one of the reasons why you're not hearing all that much about it. You notice, right? There's no logjam anymore. The strait, Iran can say the strait is closed till the cows come home. It's open. It's open. Now, the Lloyd's of London insurance firm, that's like the biggest, not the biggest, but it's the most, what is it? The most prestigious, perhaps. If you need regular homeowner insurance, you don't go to Lloyd's of London, right? If you are say you're a balloonist and you want to take your balloon and fly around the world, or let's say just to Africa, right? That's a little bit of an oddball thing to do, right? It's been done. I've seen those balloon boys, they do it. It's not like a little basket down there. Hey, I'm never getting into a stupid balloon. I am never doing anything extreme ever again. I've seen too many good people get hurt doing wild things that I want no part of them anymore. Also, you know what? I had my ass in the grass in the military. I don't need to, I don't need to be this hunting man. People get shot on hunting accidents. I don't want to put myself at any unnecessary risk. Now, I saw they have indoor skydiving. I saw an indoor skydiving place the other day, and I thought maybe I should try that. And maybe I would try that, but I would have to know, has anybody ever in the history of indoor skydiving ever been hurt doing that? Because if they have, I'm out. I don't want to do that. It's just not worth it. And I think about my friend Michael Grimm, the former congressman, former Marine, former FBI, American hero, victim of lawfare. He was playing polo with his friends. Polo's crazy. I don't even like being around horses. They're so big and strong, and who the hell knows what they're capable of. To ride one of those things while with a mallet, trying to get a ball and a goal? No, and he was very seriously hurt, but Michael is making a big-time comeback. I've seen him on media, and, he looks great. I saw him at a luncheon not too long ago. He is in a wheelchair, but I also see him walking with some equipment, so he's going to come back. He's going to be well enough to be on the back of a polo pony, but I don't want him to do that. All right, so here is one of the greatest speeches in movie history, and it's not that big speech from Churchill. What was that called? The Finest Hour? That speech where the guy had the stutter and he had to give the big speech at the end? What was that movie? None of you dumbasses knows. It's okay. I'll figure it out. But in the meantime, Stripes, Bill Murray, the eve of graduation, and they're in a really tough spot because Sergeant Holka was injured halfway through training and wasn't able to guide the platoon the rest of the way. Hit it.
Right shoulder, arms. Forward, arms. Inspection, arms. Right shoulder, arms. Right face. Your left, your left, your left, your left, your left. Come on, rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Black guys, help the white guys, okay?
Yo, man, what did he say?
Your left.
He said the black guys.
Rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The white guys.
Stop for a second. I don't want anybody to be sidetracked by that little racial comment, all right? It's John Candy. Remember him? And he says that to the black guy, and then at the same time, he's pushing aggressively white guys, and then the black guy is also pushing other black guys and white guys. It's just they've been there all night, and they're all tired, and they're all at each other's throats. All right? This is not a racial issue. Okay. Keep going.
Look at yourself. Cut it out! Cut it out! Cut it out! The hell's the matter with you? Stupid! We're all very different people. We're not Watusi.
Bill
We're
Murray.
not Spartans. We're Americans with a capital A, huh? You know what that means? Do you? That means that our forefathers were kicked out of every decent country in the world. We are the wretched refuse. We're the underdog. We're mutts. Here's proof. His nose is cold. But there's no animal that's more faithful, that's more loyal, more lovable than the mutt. Who saw Old Yeller? Who cried when Old Yeller got shot at the end? Nobody cried when Old Yeller got shot, I'm sure. I cried my eyes out. So we're all dog faces. We're all very, very different. But there is one thing that we all have in common. We were all stupid enough to enlist in the Army. We're mutants. There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us. Something seriously wrong with us. We're soldiers. But we're American soldiers. We've been kicking ass for 200 years. We're 10 and 1. Now, we don't have to worry about whether or not we've practiced. We don't have to worry about whether Captain Stillman wants to have us hung. All we have to do is to be the great American fighting soldier that is inside each one of us. Now do what I do and say what I say and make me proud. Fall in?
It's kind of beautiful, actually. He's right. I mean, like, so when Mamdani comes out and says, like, you know, we were discriminated against in Europe, right, and in Africa and in India, and but basically implying that the same people who did that over there are doing it here, right? That's what I didn't like, and that's my answer to that. All right, that pseudo-intellectual jerk. How dare he? And he's got a major responsibility on his hands. And instead, he's dabbling in all this other crap. You know, a city mayor, it's about garbage. It's about making sure the buildings don't fall down. It's about supporting the cops, merchants, getting the snow off the streets. He wants to have a seminar about democratic socialism. He wants to talk. He wants to talk about the Lenape Indians and their canoes. Get with the program, man. There's got stuff going on right outside right now. People need help. Basic stuff. Try calling 311. It still stinks. I will say this: 911 is great. 911 and those 911 operators. I'm thinking about you. I've been calling 911 a little bit more often. I only call when it's an emergency, when I think that somebody's in real trouble, and they don't screw around. They do not screw around, and they're not at the. They'll ask you, is the guy black or white or Hispanic? They want to know. Other agencies will tiptoe around the issue, but you need to know. They need to know. It helps them. It's called a description. And if they start to squeeze, if they start to make 911, of all things, politically correct, well, we'll have that conversation. One other thing, as we remember when it comes to socialists all over the place, these nut jobs. Oh, actually, forget that. Elizabeth Warren. Somebody dug this thing up. Now, Elizabeth Warren was swooning, literally swooning, for Graham Plattner not that long ago, right? We knew he had the Nazi tattoo. We knew already that girls from throughout his life didn't like the guy and had nasty stories to tell, right? We knew all of these things. Oh, and also anti-Semitic, like the rest of the Democrats. You got to be anti-Semitic now for the Democrat Party. This is what she said about this creepy dude. President Trump not afraid to call him a loser and a disgusting man. Listen to what Elizabeth Warren, Democrat senator from Massachusetts, for God's sake. What else would... There are certain things I would never, ever, ever do. Ever. And there are certain things I'd go to prison for, to be honest. This might be one of them. You can never get me. Elizabeth Warren on Graham Plattner. Go.
That's my kind of man.
Right there. Right there. That's my kind of man. Is there any more? I think there's a little bit. That's it? I mean, she's got like almost a sexual fixation with the dude. Sexual. They say that Plattner will be out because you know what? He's sounding a lot like Swalwell. Remember Eric Swalwell? Another thing, right? The party just vaporized the guy. Now, I'm all in favor of, beating Democrats at the ballot box. I'm not in favor of these campaigns to just eliminate somebody overnight based on accusations that don't really add up. They had on the evening news a woman who said, Eric Swalwell invited me to a hotel 5 years ago. I didn't go. That they led the evening news with that. She didn't say hotel bar. She didn't say hotel room. I mean, that's kind of a pretty big omission, don't you think? To me, it means it was like, meet me at the hotel lobby, meet me at the bar, meet me at the restaurant. I do that all the time. That's a legitimate place to meet. It's where else are you going to meet? If it's a little bit fancier, then, if it's at night, you're not going to go to Starbucks. You're going to go to that's a fine place to meet. Anyway, Swalwell, when he got in trouble and was still a congressman, started sounding like this. And Graham Plattner, Senate candidate Democrat nominee, is sounding much the same way. Let's start with Swalwell, and then you'll hear Plattner, almost like the same script. Hit it, please.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations. I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly.
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They're absolutely false.
Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false.
They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California.
Regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict.
I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint.
I have been deeply humbled by the faith Mainers have put in me.
I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public.
You have welcomed me into your homes, into your places of work, into your restaurants, into your houses of worship.
I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me.
Throughout it all, you never turned your back on me.
This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends.
We are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward.
Oh, wow. The irony is, both of them are dirtbags, but both of them got a raw deal from the Democrat Party. I mean, what are the voters? Chumps? Schmucks? Why go through the trouble of voting if you're a Democrat if Hakeem Jeffries is going to make the call in the end? If a committee is just going to decide, that's just like Russia. I got to go in a moment. Your calls when I come back. And I am interested in your thoughts about the Michael Cohen. I see lots of people have thoughts about the Michael Cohen. Some not being very, okay, maybe was I too nice? I don't think I was too nice. I don't think Michael Cohen thinks I was too nice. But I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad he's on good terms. And I love a redemption story. I really do. All right, I do. But I want to hear what you're saying. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. Be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All righty then. Let's see. Who do we have here? This is Bob. He's calling from Shirley, New York. Hello.
Hey, Greg. How are you?
Good.
Good. Your father was one of the best police commissioners we ever had.
Thank you.
God
I agree.
bless him.
Thank you.
I haven't been to the city in years. I'm scared to go there. It's so bad.
Well, don't say that.
I want to call about Jessica Tisch.
What about her?
How could she stand next to that guy, Madami, whatever his name is, and walk away and he stabs her right in the back? Tell me, how could she stand there and do that?
She likes the job. She likes the power. But she doesn't really have all that much of it because City Hall is running the show. What are you specifically referring to about the stabbing in the back?
Everything.
Yeah.
She not hiring more police.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling her what to do. All of it. She has no control. She should go back to the Giants and sit on her father's football team.
All right. Let's leave the family out of it. But listen, yeah, there's something really wrong about the whole situation. And I hear that once this World Cup is over, Tish is leaving. She never should have taken that job. Thank you, sir. Dennis, hello.
I think the interview was terrific. You went toe-to-toe with the guy, but you couldn't deliver a knockout because he's a WOR employee. What are you going to do?
No, he's a WABC employee. I mean, look, I want to... no, not that. I mean, I don't want to knock anybody out. I'm not trying to, but... So you liked our conversation?
You said what you say. You say what's on your mind. You're terrific.
Well, thank you. But, look, he works here, and forgiveness is really an important thing. I think it's an important thing, and I don't think it's talked about or done enough in life. I don't. Final thoughts, sir?
But yeah, my final thought is easier said than done, Greg. He said some things about Trump. I come from Mary's, who called earlier. There's something inside the guy to say the things that he did. That's just my opinion. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just my opinion. And if you were able to forgive him, Greg, you're a better man than Igonga did.
Well, remember, he didn't say him about me. You know what I mean? He didn't say it about me. So, and if the guy who was the target of it, President Trump, can forgive, then who the hell am I to not to forgive? Anyway, it's an interesting. It's interesting to think about. Thank you, Dennis, very much. Oh boy, let's see here. Rich is in Pennsylvania. Hello.
Thanks, Greg. So, yes, about Trump and Cohen, Winston Churchill once said, I'd rather have my enemies inside the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in. And that's how Trump rolls. He's done it with Mondami. He just did it with Erdogan. And he doesn't trust anybody. He knows not to, but he can forgive, but he'll never forget. And that's where the relationship is now.
Could be. Thank you for all of that. Thanks, pal. You made me think of one thing, though. Erdogan, no, it wasn't that. It'll come back to me. Thank you, Rich. John, hello.
Hello. What's this clown Michael Cohen doing on your radio station? Why did Catsimatidis even hire this loser?
Well, number one, programming decisions are not made by me, but he's got stuff to say. He's been through the ringer, and I believe that this is very much in accordance with President Trump. President Trump has forgiven him, believes he's a victim of lawfare, and wants to see him kind of restored. So let's wait and see, okay? Let's wait and see. Hey, it's the spice of life a little bit, you know what I mean? I must say it threw me for a loop when I first heard it, but it kind of makes sense. And if President Trump is good with it, I'm good with it. And the same goes for John, by the way. Roberta, hello.
Hey, Greg. It's funny, you just mentioned about Mondami has to do things like keeping buildings from falling down. Well, there's one falling down today, and a lot of people have been evacuated in Midtown Manhattan. So I guess he's proof he's doing a lousy job.
Well, he's out there giving a press conference saying nothing because he knows nothing. So, but yeah, there are real world things you got to worry about when you're the mayor. And it's a luxury for him to be doing all this other crap. Thank you, Roberta. Dylan, real quick.
Hey, you talk about forgiveness. We've had to forgive the guy after you who, when what's his name? When Cohen was pushing his book, had him on, ran him up the flagpole, was anti-Trump. So we've had to forgive the guy that does the 3 to 4 o'clock shift for you.
What,
so
Dominic?
I understand what you say about. I'm not even going to mention his name. I'm not even going to mention his name.
Busting on Dominic? Look, let's face it. Talk radio, the hosts, some hosts say things you don't like. It gets you fired up. It's just part of the genre. It's part of the genre. I love Dominic, and we don't have to agree, but I love the man. What can I tell you? All right, Dylan, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'm going to be making some awesome videos for later tonight.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Make this summer unforgettable driving in a Mercedes-Benz from Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Join me Friday, July 10th at 12 noon, where I will be hosting my show live from Mercedes-Benz of Edison. I'm excited to see my friend and GM Doug Wells and the entire staff. Mercedes-Benz of Edison is committed to making your shopping experience stress-free. That's one reason they were named the 2026 Mercedes-Benz Dealer of the Year by Cars.com. Visit Mercedes-Benz of Edison and meet me, Greg Kelly. See you soon.